Hi, I'm Aishani. I'm here to talk to you about a subject that we all love, animals. Think about the animals you know. Isn't it true that nothing beats being greeted by community dogs who welcome you back to the neighborhood? Or cats purring and rubbing against your leg to tell you how much they love you? And isn't it great to listen to the happy chirping of birds when the sun comes up? Or watch squirrels and pigeons cleverly gathering food in places where we would never be able to find anything to eat? Each and every animal is a unique and special individual. And all animals really want is exactly what we want: to live a long, happy life free of pain and suffering. I'm sure you know that even the smallest thing you do can have a big effect on those around you, including animals. One of the very first lessons that most of us learn is the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule simply means that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. In other words, put yourself in their place. Be nice, don't hurt them, and never ever be a bully or allow anyone else to be one. Pretty simple, right? In this video, we are going to show you how to follow the golden rule with animals. We are also going to share some fascinating facts about animals that you might not know. Because the more we learn about them, the more we realize that this is their world too.
Hi, I'm Farzad. One of the coolest things about animals is that they're so much like us. Did you know that rats love to play and be tickled? They make chirping noises when they're happy that sound like us when we giggle. And cows like to play games. They actually kick up their heels when they discover something new that they like. And they have very distinct personalities. Some cows are shy, and some are outgoing. Some are friendly, and some are downright bossy. Many cows choose their best friend when they're very young. Sound familiar? All animals have feelings, just like us. They feel love, happiness, sadness, fear, and pain. Have you ever accidentally stepped on a dog's or a cat's tail? That painful yelp is a lot like the way you would react if someone stepped on your foot, right? Animals like to be comfortable too. Some chickens in England learned to switch the heat on and off in their barn when they were too cold or too hot. Some animals live in places where it snows. And guess who loves snow? Crows. They have been seen sliding down snowy rooftops over and over again. The same way you might go down a slide in a park just for the fun of it. Anyone who has been around dogs know that they love to play. They wag their tails to show you they're happy when you play with them. Pigs, chickens, and turkeys are just as playful. Groups of turkeys or chickens will actually toss around round objects like apples, cabbages, and small balls. If you were goofing around in class, it would probably surprise you if your teacher said, "Stop acting like a fish." Yet, a study suggests that fish are very playful too. Can you think of any other ways that humans and animals are alike?
Animals love each other and enjoy spending time with their families. Mother hens and their chicks start talking to each other even before the chicks hatch. The hens even sing a song to their babies as they are developing inside the eggs. Unlike human mothers, animal mothers will do just about anything to protect their babies, even risking their own lives, the same way your mother would risk hers to save you. The love between a mother cow or buffalo and her calf is so strong that there have been many reports of mothers who frantically called in search for their babies, long after they had been taken away to be killed for meat and for leather, which is made from the skin of cows, buffaloes, and other animals. Let me tell you about one cow who gave birth to twins out in a field. She already had 5 babies taken away from her, and she knew that both of her new babies would be taken away unless she did something drastic. So she took one to the farmer and kept one hidden in the forest nearby and took care of him in secret. Think about this for a moment. This mother remembered losing her other babies, and she understood that if she took her two newborns back to the farmer, she would never see them again. So she came up with a plan. Even though she must have desperately wanted to save both of them, she knew that hiding both calves would make the farmer suspicious. So she had to take one back to the farmer. Can you imagine how heartbreaking that must have been for her? All mothers, no matter what species, love their babies. Orca mothers, for example, have an instantaneous and lifelong connection with their newborn calves. In fact, orcas in the wild live in pods or family groups of up to 30 members, and they travel together for their entire lives. Animals also grieve when their friends or relatives die. Cows mourn the deaths of their loved ones, even crying tears over their loss. Grey-lag geese who lose their partners literally hang their heads in sorrow, shuffle along the ground, stop eating, and stop grooming themselves. They sink into a depression. And elephants touch and hold the bones of their dead relatives and make wailing sounds. What are some of the feelings you have that animals share? What do animals do that shows they care about their families?
If you think about it, you would always help your friends and families if they needed you. Animals are the same way. Mother rats will take great risks to save the babies of other rats. Male sparrows know that there is safety in numbers, so they'll often form alliances with their neighbors to help protect each other. And bats will get food for other bats who are too ill to get their own. When some hunters shot a deer once, they were surprised that the other deer with her didn't move. They discovered that she was blind and that the other deer must have been helping her to get around. The fur was worn off on one side of the deer who was shot and on the opposite side of the blind deer because she had leaned on her when she walked. Stories of animals who have rescued humans have been told for hundreds of years. There are so many of them that it's impossible to tell them all. But one of my favorite heroes is a cat named Tara. One day, a little boy was riding his tricycle when a neighbor's dog grabbed his leg and dragged him off the bike. Before anyone else could even respond to his screams, the family cat, Tara, came flying out of nowhere, tackled the dog, and chased him away. From then on, Tara became known as the Ninja Cat.
Some animals, like some people, are born a little bit different from most others. For them, getting by is much harder. There are animals who are blind, deaf, or unable to walk or fly. A Japanese snow monkey named Mozu was born in the wild and wasn't able to run or jump like the rest of her family because the bones in her arms and legs weren't properly formed. She couldn't climb trees to reach for food as the other monkeys did, but her mother took special care of her, and Mozu grew up strong. Although she was slower than the other monkeys, Mozu worked extra hard to get enough food to eat and to survive the cold, snowy winters in Japan. And thanks to the good example set by her mother, she became a very good mother herself. Now take a look at Andy here. Notice anything unusual about him? Andy had been purchased by a farm to be used for meat, but he became very sick when he was a baby and was abandoned instead. Eventually, a kind person found him and helped him, but an untreated infection in his back legs had already gotten so bad that he was left permanently unable to bend them, which made walking very difficult. But today, Andy walks with the help of a cart that makes getting around much easier, and he lives in a sanctuary where he'll never have to worry about being killed for food.
I bet every single one of you has daydreamed about having a superpower. Well, guess what? Lots of animals already do have superpowers. For example, a dog's sense of smell is 1,000 times better than ours. Dogs can smell smoke before people can, and even before smoke detectors go off. And they can smell things deep underground or in the water. We need lanterns or flashlights to see at night. But cats can run through dark houses without bumping into furniture because they are able to see in very low light. At 104 kilometers per hour, cheetahs are about twice as fast as the world's fastest human runners. And birds don't need a map or GPS device to get directions. They migrate hundreds of kilometers over oceans and through storms without getting lost. Like us, they use landmarks to help them find their way. And they also navigate by the stars. But they use more than just their sense of sight to find their way. They also have a special sense that works like a built-in GPS, so no matter what the weather, they can tell which way to go. Even the smallest type of animals have fascinating abilities and clever ways of getting by. Spiders are skilled at spinning webs. One type of spider can spin threads in different colors. Depending on the type of spider, webs can be thick or thin, strong or delicate, dry or sticky. Do spiders ever get stuck in their own webs? Sometimes, but they know not to panic. Instead of calling for help, they just spit. Spiders' saliva dissolves their own webs. And can you imagine being able to change colors to let your friends know what you're thinking? Octopuses and squids can. They communicate with each other by changing the colors and patterns on their skin. They can even send different messages at the same time. One message on one side of their body and another one on the other. Some octopus experts believe that they even have different signals for nouns and verbs. Other animals communicate with each other subsonically. We can hear elephants trumpeting to each other and mice squeaking. But did you know that they also communicate by making sounds so low that people can't hear them without high-tech instruments? An elephant's deep rumble can travel for kilometers through the earth, so herds that can't even see each other know where to meet up later. And the subsonic squeaks of mice help them find mates and protect their homes. So you see, just as humans have many different languages, signals and gestures to help them communicate, so do animals. If you could have any of these animal superpowers, which one would you pick? Can you think of other things that animals can do that humans can't?
Think about all your friends. Each and every one of them is unique, right? Animals of all shapes and sizes share special friendships too. This little lamb named Pet grew up with 4 dogs, so she thinks she's one of them. Just look at her hopping around with her canine buddies. And then there's Esther, the Wonder Pig. Esther's guardians adopted her as a piglet, thinking that she was a micro pig and would stay very small. But they were in for a surprise. As you can see, she turned out to be a full-size pig and ended up weighing over 270 kilos. She was probably bred to be used for food, but that doesn't change how wonderful she is and how much her human family loves her. Just like any pig, given the opportunity, Esther loves to play outside and run around in the sun. And she has tons of fun with her dog friends too. Just by being herself, she has shown her guardians and many other people that pigs are friends, not food.
Another way that animals and humans are alike is that we all want to have comfortable places to live. Animals make their homes on beaches, in forests, and by lakes. So always leave nature the way you found it. Or even better, don't dump your garbage in animals' homes. That would be like if a stranger were to come into your house and throw trash all over your bedroom. Seagulls can get entangled in discarded fishing lines. Cows can accidentally swallow plastic bags. And small fish can get inside or cut themselves on cans and bottles. Dogs and other animals can even get their heads stuck inside glass or plastic jars if the lid is off. So before throwing a jar out, be sure to screw the lid back on tightly. It would be even better to reuse the jar. Remember, litter isn't just ugly, it can hurt and even kill animals. Another thing you can do to help animals is not to let anyone pick on them. Bullying anyone who is weaker than you, whether it's your little brother or a stray cat, is just plain wrong. Nobody likes a bully. Rocks, sticks, and baby guns can blind an animal. So speak up if you ever see someone hurting an animal. And if your friends are tempted to collect tadpoles, fireflies, turtles, butterflies, or any other small animals, please stop them and ask how they would feel if aliens snatched them up and put them in a jar. Imagine being at the beach or a park with your friends when all of a sudden a giant starts chasing you. It would be pretty scary, right? Well, that's what it's like for pigeons, ducks, and geese when people try to catch them. If you see someone bullying an animal, speak up or ask an adult, like a parent or teacher, for help. Put yourself in the animal's place. How would you feel if you were being bullied?
It's important to treat all animals with respect. The animals we live with are part of the family, so we should treat them that way. This includes making sure that they have everything they need, like fresh water, healthy food, and veterinary care. Cattle prefer face harnesses over painful nose ropes, which make them uncomfortable all the time. And they too, like horses, also like to be brushed. But because they are big animals, be sure to brush them only with your parents' permission and under their supervision. Most of all, animals need love and affection. Cats and dogs also need toys to play with and a comfortable bed to sleep in. They should live indoors with you and should always wear some kind of identification in case they get lost. Make sure your dog gets plenty of walks using a harness and a leash, and plenty of time for sniffing the surroundings. Always be patient with your dog. You can help save dogs and cats. Thousands of cute, lovable dogs, cats, and other animals end up in shelters in India because there aren't enough good homes for them. For every animal bought from a pet shop or breeder, an animal in a shelter loses out on finding a good home because a family decided to buy an animal instead of adopting one. Not only will you and your family be saving a life by adopting from a shelter, you'll also be getting a new best friend to shower with love and attention. And you can help make sure that fewer other animals end up in shelters or on the streets by asking your parents to have your new animal friend sterilized. Can you think of more ways to be a better best friend to dogs, cats, buffaloes, or other animals?
From dogs to frogs, all animals need us to stick up for them. We're pretty lucky because today, more than ever, it's easy to help animals just by making kind choices. Remember when we talked about how smart and affectionate rats are? It's so easy to make sure you're making choices that won't hurt them. Ask your parents to buy only personal care and household products like a toothpaste, deodorant, and a laundry detergent that haven't been tested on animals. Nowadays, thousands of companies that once tested things like shampoo, soap, and cleaners on rats, mice, and rabbits are instead using test tubes and petri dishes. Just make sure it says cruelty-free or not tested on animals on the label. Your science class can be a great place to defend animals too. Animal dissection used to take place in almost every biology class. But now, there are dozens of computer programs, apps, and models that teach biology without hurting a single frog, guinea pig, or fish. Studies have shown that students who use these modern methods learn just as much or more than students who cut up animals. You can make a difference for animals at school by urging teachers to offer only non-animal alternatives to dissection. What are some other choices that you can make that will save animals?
Animals deserve to be free. Just ask Ursula. She used to live in a tiny, miserable concrete pit at a roadside attraction where she had to beg for food from tourists. She was forced to have cubs over and over again, but then her babies were taken away from her right after they were born. When she was finally rescued and taken to a sanctuary, she was pregnant again. When she got there, she went into her new den and came out months later with 3 beautiful new cubs. Ursula finally got her freedom, but the best thing about her new home is that She gets to keep and raise her own cubs. Look at them play. Now meet Sundar. For years, he was beaten and kept tightly chained by all four legs, first at a temple in India and then in a shed. He was forced to perform tricks for money, but not anymore. Now he lives in a huge elephant sanctuary where he can finally roam around and explore a vast area of forest, streams, and ponds with other elephants for the first time in his life. Just look at him swimming with his buddies.
If you want to help animals like Ursula and Sundar, it's easy. Tell your parents you would rather go for a hike in the forest than visit a zoo, an animal circus, or an aquarium. That way, you can see animals in their own homes. In zoos, lions are forced to live in tiny cages that are nothing like their natural homes in the wild. Elephants in circuses are taken away from their mothers as babies, abused, chained for days at a time, and forced to perform headstands and other tricks that they would never naturally do. Animals are on the earth for their own reasons, not to entertain us. Can you think of a way to help an animal who shares the world with us?
I hope by now you understand that animals are a lot like us and can see just how easy it is to be a hero for them. Even though they can't talk to us in our language, they still express their emotions in many ways, and their lives and families mean as much to them as ours do to us. To understand them, we just have to pay attention. Remember, every choice we make affects animals. Whether it's eating a veggie burger for lunch or refusing to wear leather, you can help animals by making kind choices. Never bully them and always stick up for them if someone is being mean to them. All lives are precious. Every living being matters. So let's share the world. Thanks. For more ways to help animals, check out PETAindia.com.